it's me, RedHead, and today I have for you quiz about Poland. So, cześć, if you are from Poland. I made these cards, they are on very thin paper, so I don't know how it's going to look, but it's test number 1. So, let's go. Pope John Paul II was born in Poland under what name? Pope John Paul II was born in Poland under what name? And his name was Karol Wojtyła. He became one of the most influential popes of the 20th century and a major figure in Polish identity. Karol Wojtyła. And it's written like this. I will show you the backside. Karol Wojtyła. It's pretty good. I need thicker paper for me to see it, but which major battle in 1410 is a famous Polish-Lithuanian victory over the Teutonic Order? In 1410, Polish-Lithuanian victory over Teutonic Order. Europa Universalis 4 players, no. And it's Battle of Grunwald. It became a national symbol and is one of the most iconic medieval battles in the region's history. Battle of Grunwald. Perfect. Next one. This one is easy. Which Polish scientist and chemist is credited with discovering the first 2 chemical elements found by a woman? First 2 chemical elements discovered by a woman. What's the name of that woman? And that, of course, Marie Curie Sklodowska or Sklodowska-Curie. In Czechia we say Marie Curie Sklodowska, but I've seen it differently. If you are from Poland, let me know how you are learning that in school. Maybe it's some order. And she discovered polonium and radium and remains a rare double Nobel laureate. She died because of that. Yeah, it was wild times. Which Polish city is known for the massive Christ the King statue, one of the tallest Jesus statues in the world? As you may know, Polish people are very Christian, or I think. So, which city has a Christ the King statue? And it's Świebodzim. I actually added. The statue became a modern landmark and surprising tourist magnet in Western Poland. I added like little pronunciation guides, but I'm not still that good at IPA, which is, I will do video about that. That's something that I am going to extensively learn, to learn all these sounds, and if you know that, it's just so good. Somebody is shouting at 10 day. What is the Polish Easter Monday tradition where people soak each other with water? What is the Polish Easter Monday tradition where people soak each other with water? How is it called? And Polish people know, and Czech people maybe know, Slovak people probably know how they call it. It's National nation water fight with old folk roots, expect ambushes with buckets and squirt guns. Schmingus dingus, schmingus dingus. We call it schmingus dingus. This is not perfectly Polish, but schmingus dingus, schmingus dingus. Perfect. Let's go to another one. The solidarity movement that helped end communist rule began with strikes in which port city? The solidarity movement that helped end communist rule began with strikes in which port city? So think about port cities in Poland. And it's Gdańsk. The 1918's shipyard strikes there turned into a mass movement that shook the entire Eastern Bloc. Gdańsk, 1980. Solidarity movement. Perfect. Next one. Northeastern Poland's land of 1,000 lakes is commonly called what lake district? Northeastern Poland's land of 1,000 lakes is commonly called what lake district? And it's called Masurian Lake District. It's a maze of lakes and canals that is famous for sailing and summer trips. Masurian. Perfect. Next one. Poland's coat of arms features what bird? It's there. It's not perfect, but it's illustration. Poland's coat of arms features what bird? What bird is that? And it's white eagle. The crowned eagle is an old state symbol and appears across flags and official emblems. White eagle. Perfect. The town known in Polish as Oswiecim is internationally associated with what German name? Oswiecim, we call it. The town known in Polish as Oswiecim is internationally associated with what German name? Auschwitz. The name is tied to the largest Nazi concentration and extermination camp complex during World War II. Auschwitz. That's in Poland. What is the Polish word for thank you that learners often hear first? What is the Polish word for thank you that learners often hear first? And it's dziękuję. It's one of the most useful phrases, and the nasal vowel plus t cluster makes it sound unique. It's like dziękuję, like that, dziękuję in Czech. So, dziękuję. Which Polish city is home to the giant Jasna Gora Monastery and the Black Madonna icon? Which Polish city is home to the giant Jasna Gora Monastery and the Black Madonna icon? And it's Częstochowa. It's one of the biggest pilgrimage destinations in Europe, centered on the revered painting Częstochowa. Let's go to the next one. Which Baltic coastal city forms the Tri-City with Gdańsk and Sopot, and is known for its modernist vibe and major port? which Baltic coastal city forms the Tri-City with Gdańsk and Sopot and is known for its modernist vibe and major port. And it's Gdynia. Together with Gdańsk and Sopot, it makes Trójmiasto. Trójmiasto, like three cities, free city. Three neighboring cities that share one coastal urban area. In which Polish city do two mechanical goats appear at noon on the town hall, butting heads for the crown? In which Polish city do two mechanical goats appear at noon on the town hall, butting heads for the crowd? For the crowd, not crown, for the crowd. And it's Poznan. It's a daily mini show that became a local symbol. Tourists time their whole walk around it. Poznań, which primeval forest on the Poland-Belarus border is famous for European bison? Which primeval forest on the Poland-Belarus border is famous for European bison? And it's Białowieża forest. It's one of Europe's last and largest remaining primeval forests and a flagship conservation site. Białowieża forest. Perfect. Let's go. What are the filled Polish dumplings that can be stuffed with potato and cheese or sweet fruit with anything? What are the filled Polish dumplings that can be stuffed with potato and cheese or sweet fruit? And it's pierogi. They are staple comfort food and can be boiled then pan-fried for a crispy finish. Pierogi to pierdole. Okay. Which royal castle complex tied to Polish coronations and the legend of a dragon is one of Poland's most symbolic historic sites? Which royal castle complex tied to Polish coronations and the legend of dragon is one of Poland's most symbolic historic sites? And it is Wawel Castle. It's a top symbol of the Polish monarchy and one of the country's most famous historic complexes. What is the name of Poland's currency? What is the name of Poland's currency? You will see it written as PLN, and the name literally means golden, and it's zloty. Zloty, written like this. Zloty. What is the traditional Polish Christmas Eve dinner called? What is the traditional Polish Christmas Eve dinner called? And it's called Vigilia. It's like It's a typically meatless, includes symbolic dishes, and starts when the first star appears in the sky. Poetic, nice. Which modern Polish city was rebuilt almost completely after World War II and is now a UNESCO listed old town? Which modern Polish city was rebuilt almost completely after World War II and it is now a UNESCO listed old town? And it's Warsaw. Its historic center was reconstructed using paintings, plans, or surviving fragments, and extreme restoration story. Warsaw. Okay, next one. Oh my god. What is the Polish name for the Polish-Lithuanian Commonwealth? Huh? What is the Polish name for Polish-Lithuanian Commonwealth? Rzeczpospolita. A term is tied to a huge multi-ethnic state that once stretched deep across Eastern Europe. I will show you how it is like this. Rzeczpospolita. What is the Polish word for goodbye? That also means be healthy. What is the Polish word for goodbye? That also means be healthy. And it's do widzenia. Do widzenia. You knew that. It literally means until seeing you, and it's the standard polite way to say goodbye. Do widzenia. Do widzenia. Or like that. Which historic city is linked to Poland's earliest rulers and the famous medieval bronze Gnieźno doors? That's easy, that literally says that. Which historic city is linked to Poland's earliest rulers and famous medieval bronze Gnieźno doors? And it's Gnieźno. It's one of the keys. First Poland places cathedral history, royal legends, and early statehood vibes all in one. Gnieźno. What Polish term names the famous hunter's stew made from mixed meats and sauerkraut? Which Polish term names the famous hunter's stew made from mixed meats and sauerkraut? And it's pikus. It's a long simmered stew that tastes better the next day, so it's often reheated after over several days. Pikus. Next one. What thin wafer do Poles share and break with wishes at Christmas Eve dinner? What wafer do Poles share and break with wishes at Christmas Eve dinner? And it's oplatek. People exchange it with family and often guests as a ritual of reconciliation and good wishes. Oplatek. Let's go. Which Polish city is known for its gnome statues? I'm a gnome. Scattered around the streets. Which Polish city is known for its gnome statues scattered around the streets? And it's Wrocław. The tiny dwarfs began as a playful anti-communist symbol and turned into a city-wide scavenger hunt. Anything anti-communist, I support. So, gnome power or something. Which Polish city is famous for the St. Mary's Basilica? Trumpet call that abruptly stops mid-tone. Which Polish city is famous for the St. Mary's Basilica trumpet call that abruptly stops mid-note? And it's Krakow. The Heinal tradition remembers a medieval alarm. Its sudden cut-off is the signature twist. Krakow. Next one. What is the name of Poland's famous Polish Highlander cheese, often grilled and served with cranberry jam? What is the name of Poland's famous Polish Highlander cheese, often grilled and served with cranberry jam? And it's Oscypek. It's a smoked sheep's milk cheese from the Tatra region with distinctive spindle shape and pattern. It's written like this: Oscypek. What is the name of the Polish word for cheers, used when clinking not gases, glasses, don't clink gases, guys, and girls, and one girl. What is the name of the Polish word for cheers used when clinking glasses? And it's na zdrowie. It literally means for health, and it's used both for toasts and sometimes after sneezes. Na zdrowie. And if you don't forget, if you like this type of videos, leave a like and comment. Write me how are you doing, for example, or what other country would you like to see, or different topic. I can do any topics that you want. And if you like this channel really much, consider becoming a member. There is many tiers. You can just support or get videos early or get special videos that I will be regularly making next year. So yeah, I thank every member. Now we have like 18 members. Thank every one of you. You are what makes the channel work. Which Polish Renaissance ideal city is famous for its perfect market square and Italian-influenced architecture? Which Polish Renaissance ideal city is famous for its perfect market square and Italian-influenced architecture? And it's Zamość. It's planned as a showcase city in the late 1500s, so its streets and fortifications feel unusually designed rather than grown over time. Usually it was like grown, but it's like 1500s America. Next one. Which voivodeship is home to the Crooked Forest? Krzywy Las, near Gryfino. Which voivodeship is home to the Crooked Forest? Krzywy Las, near Gryfino. And it's... You will not know that one. I don't know that one. West Pomeranian voivodeship. I know where West Pomerania was, or is probably. The oddly bent pines stand in Nowe Czarowno by Gryfino and are protected as natural monument. The exact method of shaping them remains unknown. West Pomeranian voivodstwo. Next one. What is the name of the massive break forest built by the Teutonic Order, often called the largest castle in the world by area? What is the name of a massive brick fortress, not forest, fortress, built by Teutonic Order, often called the largest castle in the world by area? And it's Malbork Castle. Malbork, not Marlborough, Malbork. It's a medieval mega complex on the Nogat River and a showpiece of brick Gothic architecture. Malbork Castle. Perfect. Next one. Which Polish city is sometimes nicknamed Little Berlin? For its canals and rivers running through the center. Little Berlin. Yeah. Which Polish city is called Little Berlin? And it's Bikoszcz. Is it right? Its waterways and all industrial architecture give it a different vibe from many Polish cities, great for evening walks. Bikoszcz. Manyshutcha. Which Slavic figure is carried as an effigy and drowned or buried in a Polish spring welcoming tradition? Which Slavic figure is carried as an effigy and drowned or burned, not burned like fire in a Polish spring welcoming tradition? And it's called Marzana. It's a dramatic seasonal ritual. Winter dies, spring arrives, perfect folk Lord Theatre. We are burning witches in Czechia. Just get a witch and we just burn her. Kids make a witch and it's always like 1 second because there is like hay inside, and it's just you like light it up and it's just gone in like it's like I don't know, like if you put kerosene into that or something. What is the name of upper house of Poland's parliament? It's a very easy question. What is the name of the upper house of Poland's parliament? And it's the Senate. It reviews legislation and can propose amendments, acting as a second checkpoint in the lawmaking process. Senate. For the Republic. Which Polish mountain range is nicknamed the Holy Cross Mountains? This one is mouthful. Which Polish mountain range is nicknamed the Holy Cross Mountains? And it's Świętokrzyskie Mountains. Świętokrzyskie. I think IPA had to invent special symbols for Polish. Świętokrzyskie Mountains. They are not the tallest, but they are packed with legends, ancient geology, and hikes tied to Polish folklore. It's written like that. Next one. Which Polish mathematician was key to the early breaking of the German Enigma cipher? Because the Polish did it before, during. No, that wasn't during, was it during? It's too late, guys. Let me know who broke Enigma. Oh my god. I can't remember. I know the name. I know the film. It wasn't Turing. Was it Turing? It was Turing. I think. Yeah, it was Turing. And it was Marian Rejewski. He used mathematics to reconstruct the machine's logic years before the better-known British phase of the story. Marian Rejewski. They used his findings to actually make it after they got the Enigma. What is the largest lake in Poland by surface area? What is the largest lake in Poland by surface area? And it's Schnardwy. It's a Masurian giant, big enough to feel like an inland sea when the wind picks up. It's a Masurian giant. Schnardwy. Oh my god, the Polish names are coming. Who was the first Pole to fly into space? 1978, a name that often appears in Polish science history quizzes. That's very useful to know. Who was the first Pole to fly into space? 1978, a name that often appears in Polish science history quizzes. And it was Mirosław Hermaszewski. Mirosław Hermaszewski. He flew on Soviet Interkosmos mission and became a lasting symbol of Poland's place in the space age story. Written like this, with many letters. What is the recognized regional language of Poland spoken in parts of Pomerania? What is the recognized regional language of Poland spoken in parts of Pomerania? And it's Kashubian. It's a West Slavic language with its own spelling and literature, and it's a major identity marker for the Kashubian community. And if that guy outside doesn't stop yelling, I'm going to call a police. We will do police ASMR. I will let them inspect this. What is the traditional Polish sour rye soup, often served with sausage and egg? What is the traditional Polish sour rye soup, often served with sausage and egg? And it's called żurek. Or żurek. We call it żurek. It has a tangy flavor from fermented rice starter and is a classic Easter and winter comfort dish. Żurek. Next one. What are the colorful Polish folk paper cutouts often associated with the Lewitt region called? What are the colorful Polish folk paper cutouts often associated with the Lewitt region called? And it's called wycinanki. They are both symmetrical and instantly recognizable, like folk art stickers made with scissors, not printers. Wycinanki. Like they are wyciniany, like cut out. What is the deepest lake in Poland, often used in trivia as the Polish death champ? What is the deepest lake in Poland, often used in trivia as the Polish depth champ? And it's Hańcza. It's in the northeast and is known for very clear water and steep underwater slopes. Hańcza. Something's happening. What is the title of Poland's national anthem? What is the title of Polish national anthem? And it's Mazurek Dąbrowskiego. Mazurek Dąbrowskiego. It began as a song for Polish legions in exile and later became the anthem. So it's basically patriotism set to marching to. It is. Mazurek Dąbrowskiego. Did I said it right? I didn't. Which Polish novelist won the Nobel Prize in Literature for 2018 and wrote the epic novel The Books of Jacob? Which Polish novelist won the Nobel Prize in Literature for 2018 and wrote the epic novel The Books of Jacob? And that this is known name. And his name, it's he, she, it's of course she. She's known for big idea-driven stories that still feel personal and for turning history into something you can't stop reading. And her name is Olga Tokarczuk. Olga Tokarczuk. Perfect. Next one. What is the Polish word for the small roadside shrines you see everywhere in villages and along country roads? And there was a big battle during COVID with Czechia over one, and it's called, in Wikipedia you can find it, we can do visualization one day maybe, and it's called their distinctive part of the landscape, tiny micro monuments that mix faith, history and local identity, and it's called Kaplička, Battle of Kaplička. That was huge. It was like basically some people went to the Kaplička. That was their cars. I love cars. They went to the Kaplička. We will let it. This is like little ambience, so you know I'm not in the space. I'm in the real world where cars and other elements exist. And Battle of Kaplička was that they basically each country had like a quest to guard the border, so we Czechs don't go to Poland and Polish don't go to Czechia to not spread COVID. And they accidentally occupied a Kaplička in Czechia. So there was it was like nothing. They just called each other and we go like this, I don't know, 100 meters back. But on Wikipedia it's Battle of Kaplička, it's a huge national, and I think we won, like Czechia won. That was, I remember, like that was such a huge like relief or something, like something new that was up, nothing was happening, and there was Battle of Kaplička and it was peaceful and nice, interesting, funny. Okay. Which Polish footballer became a global star striker and is famous for scoring 5 goals in 9 minutes? Which Polish footballer became a global star striker and is famous for scoring 5 goals in 9 minutes? This one is known very, very much. I even, as a sport retard, know it. That record-setting burst became a meme-level statistic, and he's been Poland's headline player for years. Robert Lewandowski. Next one. What is the name of the sandy area often called Poland's desert, located near the town of something that I'm not going to tell you? It's written there, isn't it? Yeah, I'm sorry. So it's near the town of Bledov. These are like lobotomy questions, you know, that you can really, you know, you are falling into deep sleep. So which desert is located in the town of Bledov and it's blade of desert. It's not a Sahara scale, but it's real sand dunes in country. Most people don't associate it with deserts at all. So, blade of desert, that would be a nice trip. Many people don't go to desert in Poland. This is the name of the lower house of Poland's parliament. Lower house. We had upper one. And it's same. If you follow Polish politics at all, this is the chamber you hear about the most. It's where key laws are voted through. Same. Perfect. Next one. What is the Polish sea coast region famous for? A huge moving sand dunes inside a national park. What is the Polish sea coast region famous for? Huge moving dunes inside a national park. And it's Slovinsky National Park. Slovinsky National Park. Its dunes shift with the wind, creating a desert by the sea look on the Baltic coast. Slovinsky National Park. Perfect. Which Polish novelist won the 1905 Nobel Prize in Literature and wrote the historical epic Quo Vadis? Quo Vadis. Quo Vadis. I think it means, where are you walking? Somebody who knows Latin, let me know down in the comments. Very known. We learned about that. He turned ancient Rome into page turner, and the nobles cemented him as one of Poland's classic national bookshelf authors. And it's Henryk Sienkiewicz. It's not Grzegorz Brańczykiewicz, but it's Henryk Sienkiewicz. Which Polish composer wrote Threnody for the victims of Hiroshima and avant-garde piece for string orchestra? I think in Hiroshima there is that house that still stands. That one was built by a Czech. That one, I know. So Threnody for the victims of Hiroshima, an avant-garde piece for string orchestra. Which composer? And it's Krzysztof Penderecki. It's famous for turning sound into pure tension, clusters, shrieks, and textures that feel like a sonic memorial. Krzysztof Penderecki. What is the highest peak of Poland's Sudets range? What is the highest peak of Poland's Sudets range? For Czechs, is the highest hill of Czechia. And it's Śnieżka. It sits on Karkonosze. They say Karkonosze, we say Krkonosze. Mountains, and it's famous for brutal winds and a distinctive summit silhouette. I would like to go to Śnieżka. I've never been there. Śnieżka. What is the Polish street food that's basically an open-faced baguette baked with mushrooms and cheese? What is the Polish street food that's basically an open-faced baguette baked with mushrooms and cheese? And it's zapiekanka. It's a fast food classic often finished with sauces on top, especially popular at night markets. Zapiekanka. Perfect. What is the narrow Polish sand peninsula that feels like a road through dunes and pine forests into Baltic Sea? What is the narrow Polish sand peninsula that feels like a road through dunes and pine forests into the Baltic Sea? Polish name Hell Peninsula. Hell Peninsula. It's a classic summer destination, beaches on both sides, wind, and the end of the world, seaside vibes. I just wish one day I will be in a retirement home and I can make like all these videos about all these countries and exciting stuff. But I think I have to go to the retirement at like 75, which will be like 15 years after I die, which is not ideal, but oh well. Which Polish author created Geralt of Rivia in the Witcher series? Some Witcher fans. Which Polish author created Geralt of Rivia in the Witcher series? Witcher is such a good game. It's one of the best. I still have to play Kingdom Come. And it's Andrzej Sapkowski. The books started as short stories and became one of Poland's biggest pop culture exports. Games, shows, the whole machine. Andrzej Sapkowski. Next one. Which city is the capital of the Silesian Voivodeship and a core city of Poland's industrial south? Which city is the capital of Silesian Voivodeship and a core city of Poland's industrial south? It's Katowice. It's a symbol of the region's mining industry past, but today it's also known for arenas, concerts, and a modern city reset. Katowice. Next one. Which Polish ski jumper sparked the early 2000s national craze nicknamed Malishomania? It almost says it. What's the name of that Polish ski jumper? It's Adam Malish. He became a winter sports icon so big that even non-fans tracked his jumps like major news in 2000. It sometimes happens, like even us non-sport people, that there is like such a huge craze that even you watch. Like if something is like so somebody is so extraordinary, Which Polish patriot fought in the American Revolution and later led the 1794 uprising in Poland? I know that name, but I didn't know that. Which Polish patriot fought in the American Revolution? Wow. And later led the 1794 uprising in Poland? Tadeusz Kościuszko. Polish people definitely know. He became a transatlantic symbol of liberty, remembered in both Poland and the United States. Tadeusz Kościuszko. Next one. Which national park protects the marshy Bierza Valley, famous for elk and birdwatching? Which national park protects the marshy Bierza Valley, famous for elk and birdwatching? And it's Bierza National Park. That one was, again. Its vast wetlands are one of Poland's top wildlife areas, especially during spring migrations. Great. Next one. Which Polish poet won the Nobel Prize in Literature in 1996 for sharp, witty poems about everyday life? Which Polish poet won the Nobel Prize in Literature in 1996 for sharp, witty poems about everyday life? And it was Wisława Szymborska. Her poems can feel simple at first, then quietly flip your perspective in the last lines. Classic wait, wow, writing. Wisława Szymborska. Next one. Which remote mountain region in southeastern Poland is famous for wild, empty ridgelines and poloniny meadows? Which remote mountain region in southeastern Poland is famous for wild feel, empty ridgelines and poloniny meadows? And it's Bieszczady. People go there to disappear for a weekend. Long trails, huge skies, and way fewer crowds than the Tatras. Bieszczady. Next. What were the famous elite Polish cavalry units nicknamed for their distinctive wings? What were the famous elite Polish cavalry units nicknamed for their distinctive wings? And they were winged hussars. Winged hussars, they became legendary for shock charges and battlefield showmanship, one of the most iconic cavalry images in Europe. Winged hussars. In Polish, the river forming much of Poland's western border is called Odra. What is it commonly called in English? What is Odra called in English? Oder. It's one of the key geographic lines of modern Central Europe, running north toward the Baltic. Oder. Next one. Which Polish artist is famous for dark, surreal, post-apocalyptic paintings and has a major collection in Sanok? Which Polish artist is famous for dark, surreal, post-apocalyptic paintings and has a major collection in Sanok? And is Zdzisław Beksinski. His work feels like nightmares painted with museum-level technique, so it's unforgettable even if you only see it once. Zdzisław Beksinski. Which cannoneer Elbach is famous for moving boats over land and on inclined plane railways? Which cannoneer Elbach is famous for moving boats over land on inclined plane railways? This one is again for free. And it's Elbach Canal. Instead of only locks, boats ride on wheeled cradles along slipways to climb between different water levels. One of Poland's weirdest engineering sites. Next one. Which rules baptism in 966 is often treated as the symbolic start of the Polish state? Which rules baptism in 966 is often treated as symbolic start of Polish state? And it's Mieszko first. By adopting Christianity and aligning with Latin Europe, his realm gained legitimacy and stronger political ties. Mieszko first. Which Baroque palace complex in southeastern Poland is famous for one of Europe's best carriage collections? Which Baroque palace complex in southeastern Poland is famous for one of Europe's best carriage collections? And it's Lankat Castle. Lankat Castle. It's a showpiece of aristocratic life with lavish interiors and museum-grade stable and coach hall. Lankat Castle. Which Polish king led the relief force at the 1683 Battle of Vienna? That was a big one. Which Polish king led the relief force at the 1683 Battle of Vienna? And it was John III Sobieski. John III Sobieski. His charge helped break the Ottoman siege, and the episode became defining Europe's saved the last minute story in Polish memory. So John III Sobieski. His charge helped break the Ottoman siege, and the episode became a defining Europe saved the last minute story in Polish memory. John III Sobieski. Next one. What is the largest island in Poland by area? What is the largest island in Poland by area? And it's Wolin. It sits near the Baltic coast and is known for cliffs, beaches, and a national park feel without leaving the mainland vibe too far behind. Wolin. On Tlusty Czwarek, Fat Thursday, what sweet fried pastry do Poles traditionally eat? On Tlusty Czwarek, Fat Thursday, what sweet fried pastry do Poles traditionally eat? And it's paczki. It's the brilliant excuse to go all in on jam-filled donuts. Many people buy them by the box. Paczki. Which Polish inventor helped launch the modern oil industry by developing an early kerosene lamp? And it was early kerosene lamp. Ignacy Lukasiewicz. His refining work and practical lamp made kerosene lightning spread fast, turning chemistry into real-world infrastructure. Ignacy Lukasiewicz. Which Polish city is the capital of the West Pomeranian Voivodeship and a major port near the Oder? Which city is the capital of the West Pomeranian Voivodeship and a major port near the Oder? And it's Szczecin. It's a big water-linked city with a maritime identity and strong ties to the river and nearby sea roads. It's not Szczecin. Yes, Szczecin, is it? Let me know. What was the main World War II resistance army of occupied Poland commonly called in Polish? What was the main World War II resistance army of occupied Poland commonly called in Polish? And it was Armia Krajowa, often shortened to AK. It was a huge underground force with intelligence, sabotage, and partisan operations across the country. Armia Krajowa. Which three empires carried out the partitions of Poland in the late 1700s? Which three empires partitioned Poland in 1700s? And it was, of course, Russia, Prussia, and Austria. Those three powers split Polish territory in 3 rounds, erasing Poland from the map until 1918. Yeah, it was like that. Bohemia, the same. Traditional wooden raft trips through the Pieni Gorge run on which river? Traditional wooden raft trips through the Pieni Gorge run on which river? And it's Dunajec. It's a classic scenic route where you float between steep limestone cliffs and long guided rafts. Dunajec. Next one. 1569 agreement united Poland and Lithuania into single Commonwealth. Which 1569 agreement united Poland and Lithuania into a single Commonwealth, and it was Union of Lublin, not Lubin, Union of Lublin. It created a massive joint state with a shared elected monarch and parliament, one of Europe's biggest political experiments in its era. Union of Lublin. Which Polish mathematician gave his name to Banach spaces in functional analysis? Gave his name to Banach spaces, so again, free. And it's Stefan Banach. If you've ever heard Banach space in math or physics, that's its legacy. Poland's interwar math scene was world class. It was. What is the greetings literally means good day and is standard polite hello. What is hello? Good day in Polish. Dzień dobry. Dzień dobry. You'll hear it everywhere in shops and offices, and it's safest default greetings for strangers. Dzień dobry. Next one. Which bird is beloved symbol of rural Poland, often nesting on chimneys and poles, not on literal poles, just poles like not on their heads or shoulders, on poles like electric poles. Which bird is beloved symbol of rural Poland, often nesting on chimneys and poles, and it's a white stork. Seeing stork is summarized almost part of the countryside aesthetic, and villages sometimes protects nest platforms. In which medieval chronicle known as the Book of Henrikov, again, that's one of the earliest written Polish sentences here in Book of Henrikov, yeah. Again for free. It's key artifact for Polish language history because it preserves everyday speech inside a Latin monarchic record. I didn't fact check it correctly. In which Polish city was Nicholas Copernicus born? In which city was Nicholas Copernicus born? Torun. In his heliocentric idea helped kickstart a scientific revolution, and the city still celebrates him everywhere. Turin. Which UNESCO listed salt mine in southern Poland has chapels carved out of salt and underground lakes? Which it's Wieliczka salt mine. Visitors walk through tunnels and chambers where even chandeliers are made from salt crystals. Everywhere you go is salt. It's salty. Like the witch comment sections. What was the name of 1944 uprising in the Polish capital against Nazi occupation? What's Polish capital? And it was Warsaw Uprising. It lasted 63 days and became a defining symbol of resistance and tragedy in modern Polish memory history. What 1791 document is often called one of Europe's first modern written constitution? What 1791 document? And it's Constitution of 3rd May. Constitution of 3rd May. It tried to reform the Polish-Lithuanian Commonwealth and is still celebrated annually. In Poland, what are imieniny, celebrations better known in English as imieniny, imieniny in Czech. Name days. Many people celebrate them like birthdays because each calendar day is linked to given names. Yes. We have the same. I am on 80th of October. Lukáš. Which Polish author wrote the sci-fi classic Solaris? Which Polish author wrote the sci-fi, in Czech we say sci-fi classic Solaris? And it was Stanislav Lem. His work mixes big ideas with sharp humor, and Solaris is famous for its mysterious living ocean. What is the longest river in Poland, known in Polish as Wisła? What is the longest river in Poland, known in Polish as Wisła? And it's Vistula. It runs from the Carpathians to the Baltic Sea and cuts Poland roughly south to north. We have few more left. Few more, like 15. Chopin often turned which Polish folk dance into elegant piano pieces? Chopin often turned which Polish folk dance into elegant piano pieces? And it was Mazurka. He took a village dance rhythm and made it signature sound of romantic piano music. Mazurka, Chopin. What is Poland's highest peak located on the border with Slovakia? What is Poland's highest peak located on the border with Slovakia? And it's Risi. It says in the High Tatras and is classical for hikers chasing Poland's top elevation point. Risi. In Polish, the letter L is usually pronounced like which English letter? What? It's W. That is why watch starts with W-like sounds, even though it looks like L. Watch, okay, I've been saying that wrong. Watch the whole time. So sorry, Polish people. Everything that has that L with that we just make L. I think. Lodge, I would say lodge. And it's watch, yeah, it's like that in Polish. Which Polish director made the 3 colors film trilogy, blue, white, red? Which Polish director made the 3 colors film trilogy, blue, white, red? Krzysztof Kieslowski. Krzysztof Kieslowski. The trilogy became a world cinema landmark by turning the themes into intimate, character-driven stories. Which historic canal in northeastern Poland is known for a chain of hand-operated locks and heritage status? Which historic canal in northeastern Poland is known for a chain of hand-operated locks and heritage status? And it's Augustów Canal. It's a slow, scenic waterway engineering project that turned lake and river travel into tourism experience. Augustów Canal. The famous Polish tongue twister line starts with Ścieprześcin chrzaść brzmiw trśnie. Which town is it named after? Why? Ścieprześcin chrzaść brzmi w treścinie, and his town Szczepsie. A phrase means a beetle buzzing in the reeds, and the town's name is a real pronunciation challenge. Beetle buzzing in the streets. What is the traditional Polish poppy seed roll cake commonly served at holidays? And it's makowiec. It's dense, sweet, and packed with poppy seeds, a filling often appearing on Christmas table. Makowiec. It's banned in many countries. Which Polish poet wrote the national epic Pan Tadeusz? Pan Tadeusz. And it is Adam Mickiewicz. It's a foundational work of Polish literature and cultural reference point even for people who haven't read it fully. Adam Mickiewicz. Which Polish village is famous for cottages and sheds painted with bright floral folk patterns? Which Polish village is famous for cottages and sheds painted with bright floral folk patterns? And it's Zalipie. The whole place looks like functional buildings got turned into folk art canvases, not just one tourist house. Zalipie. What are the Polish stuffed cabbage rolls usually filled with meat and rice? What are the Polish stuffed cabbage rolls usually filled with meat and rice? And it's kołapki. I'm saying it wrong. I know. Kołapki. They are simmered in sauce and served as a serious comfort food in homes and milk bars. Kołapki. What nickname did Poles give the tiny Fiat 126P, one of the most iconic cars of communist-era Poland? Fiat 126P. And how they called it? That's a good question. It's called Maluch. The name means little one, and the car became a symbol of everyday life and family road trips. Maluch. Szkoda. Which Polish city is often nicknamed Polish Manchester because of its textile industry boom? Which Polish city is often nicknamed Polish Manchester because of its textile industry boom? And it's Łódź. It exploded as a factory city in the 1800s, and its industrial past still shapes its architecture and vibe. Łódź. And the last one, the blue and white Polish pottery with peacock eye patterns is traditionally made around which town? And it's around Bolesławiec. It's known for durable stoneware and sponge stamp designs that became an export hit. So, Bolesławiec. So thank you all for watching. I hope you liked it. If you did, let me know. I will make more. If you didn't, let me know. I will not make more. And hopefully you're sleeping. And I will see you in the next one. And I want to thank the members again. Thank you for support.